Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What's up everybody? Making sure my exposure is on point. We're good to go. So, how's everybody doing? Welcome back. Check this shirt out. Shout out to my little sister for this dope ass shirt. She got it for me for Christmas and I freaking love this shirt. It's pretty cool. I don't even know where she found it from, but I love this shirt. So, today we're gonna talk about my little experience with this little guy, the Fuji XE-3. It's gonna be a question of if we can actually use APS-C cameras for professional fashion work. And I guess we'll find out at the end of the video. So I travel a lot. I'm always going, last year I think I went to about 12 countries altogether. So I needed something I could always take with me. And when I travel, I like to find models to shoot with. So having a little small camera with me is just perfect. I don't have to worry about it getting stolen. I don't have to worry about carrying a lot of bulk. It's just perfect. So I took this. I bought this on eBay for about $400. I want to say maybe $450. Then I bought this little cheap lens. It's manual focus only. It's a 35 1.4, which means it's a Mikey. I bought it on Amazon. And it gives you a 50mm equivalent focal length. I also bought another 25mm 1.8. I'll show you pictures from that lens also. The lens cost me $100. Yes, it was $100. The camera was about $450, so everything is about $550 for the kit, which is not bad at all. So the challenge was, I'm just gonna take this as all I have. I have always used full frame cameras, Leicas, I've used medium format cameras, I've used everything. So the challenge was to do my professional shoots with an APS-C sensor, see how it would turn out. So I took this little camera. The first shoot I used it for was when I went to Dubai. I met this beautiful, connected with this beautiful model out there. We met at my hotel and we did a photo shoot. It was in Dubai, the sun is just so bright in Dubai. So we shot in the balcony of the hotel and we did some shots outside the hotel. And this was all I had. So we go outside. Before this, I've only used the camera at home playing, shots with chocolates, just testing the camera, just making sure I got a feel for the camera. I'd never done anything serious with it. So we get out there outside in the full sunlight and I realized the EVF on this thing is so tiny. And this lens is manual focus only. So I'm doing manual focus with focus peaking. And man, that was a struggle. It's so hard to see in direct sunlight. In bright sunlight, it's almost impossible to see through. And I came from my Sony A7 III and Fuji GFX-50R with the huge EVFs. And this EVF was just so small. It's like you're looking through a pinhole. And I was struggling. So I had to actually take my f-stop up to like f8 just to make sure I had everything in focus because I didn't want to have out of focus shots for this. And the photo shoot went pretty well. I actually missed a few shots, which was really, disappointing. But I just could not keep up with the EVF. It was so small. For manual focus and the model moving everywhere, that was a struggle with this. And I didn't have any autofocus lenses. I couldn't just switch it out because this was a challenge to kind of, like my poor man Leica setup. I know this is rough. I'm gonna go cry after this. Cry about my financial situation because it is what it is. But when I come back home, I put the photos in camera raw because I shot raw, and I was blown away by the results. If someone had told you they were shot with a full frame camera, you'd believe it because the results were just fantastic. I really enjoyed using this camera, so I just kept it. A few months later, I did another photo shoot because when I do professional work, I'm always using my Sony, but when I have time to just mess around, I decide I'm just gonna use this little camera. So one Sunday morning, I had this dress I reached out to one of my model friends, and early on Sunday morning, we went downtown and we did a photo shoot with this and the 25 1.8 lens that I bought used for like $60 on eBay. The prices of these APS-C lenses are crazy. The quality is pretty good. So if you're looking for a bargain, that's the first way to go. Just try the APS-C lenses out. So I did that. We met downtown, shot in the middle of the street, shot around. Then we went to, I found a cabbie. I stopped a couple, they refused. But this guy finally agreed to it. and we did some shots of the model sitting on the back of the taxi cab, and those were fantastic. Those are my favorite shots I've ever done with this camera. Fantastic shots. You know, I just shot at f4, f5.6 I want to say, just to make sure I had it in focus, because I didn't want to miss the shot because the EVF was really bad. It wasn't sunny that morning, it was really gloomy, so it was a lot easier to see. In the sunlight, it's ridiculously hard to see the EVF. I don't know how. You would think EVF should be easier to see because, you know, they're hidden, but it's so small, you're really squinting and trying to get the details out. So that's the only problem I have with this camera. I did that photo shoot. I really liked the photos out of that. The colors were pretty good. I showed all those photos in RAW, by the way. So I wasn't even really trying the JPEGs to see what they look, the film simulations or anything. I didn't try those because I wasn't, you know, I shoot RAW. I've always shot RAW. I'm not a JPEG person, but I think this camera is kind of changing my mind a little bit, because when I just want to take quick snapshots around the house and share, it's perfect. I take a picture, the little Fuji, take a picture of chocolate, take a picture of my, you know, friends, whatever, and use the app, and boom, you can download the photos onto your phone and text it to them. It's amazing. So what I started doing was, when I do photo shoots, I take this camera along. After doing the main shots, I just shoot a couple with this and just download it to my phone and send it to the model, so they go home with photos from the photo shoot. It's almost like instead of waiting a day or two to get edits, they could just exactly have photos from the photo shoot. They could share it, they could do whatever they want to do with it. The Wi-Fi function, and this is my favorite thing about this little camera. The image quality is amazing. It's touchscreen, so that's good. It's really small. I like how small it is. Look how tiny this is. I put it in my backpack. I put it when I pack, I just put it in my backpack with 2 lenses. The lenses are so small, and it's just there. It's the convenience of it. It's a camera you can always have with you, which is awesome, because sometimes I remember I was in Brazil in December, and I went to this museum, and the architecture, I don't do street photography. I'm not good at it. I've tried. It's not really my thing. But the one day I did not have this camera with me, the architecture in the area we went to was just perfect. And I was so pissed because I didn't take the camera with me. So that was a big bummer. That kind of taught me a lesson to always have a camera with you, especially as a photographer. We see things which could really be cool photos. Sometimes you just want to just have a camera to just take a shot with. And this, I think that's where this really comes in handy, as a always have with me kind of camera. I like the manual settings. I like the dials on top. I like that it's manual focus. I just love manual focus. There's something about being more involved in the shot that makes it more rewarding. So that's always a plus. Then yesterday, Fuji announces the X100V. They just made things interesting, because now I really want that camera. I think that's a beautiful camera. Beautiful camera. So it's only $1,400. So if I sell this, you know, get like $400 back, $350 from this, I could just add it to the $1,000 and get the X100V. I think that'd be the perfect always have with you camera with that 35mm f/20, yeah, 35mm equivalent lens. It's perfect, I think, and it's a beautiful camera too. I've never seen one in person, but I think I'm really gonna like it. Just as a camera to always have with you. You know, it's always good to have a camera with you wherever you go. But can you shoot fashion photos with this? Absolutely can, if you can deal with that EVF. Maybe with the autofocus lens, it'll be great. But I think it's a wonderful setup. So let me know what you think of the photos. Let me know if you have this camera, what you think about it, if it's something you'd use. Let me know if you shoot fashion shots with APS-C sensors, because I don't think there's a problem with it. I'm sure the fancier X-T3s and X-Pro 3s do a lot better job with the EVF. I haven't tried those either, but this EVF is the only downside to this camera. And in direct sunlight, it's hard to use the screen to focus because there's a lot of glare. So that's another problem. But that's the only downside I can say about this camera. The image quality in low light, it's not great. I did some shots. I'll show you. I did some shots a week ago, and I just used natural light with my Sony A7 III was just killing them. I was shooting, I think I was shooting wide open with both cameras, but the Fuji, even the ISO 800, the Fuji was struggling. The shots were just not as clean. I shot in acros to try out the film simulations, and the photos just came out noisy. They weren't sharp. I mean, maybe my shutter speed was a little slow. I think I was at 1/60th of a second. And the lens is not stabilized either, so there's that. There's no in-body stabilization, so maybe that's what the problem was. But the shots were they just weren't up to par. My Sony shots were just way better. So when I think in low light this kind of falls apart a little bit, but in good sunlight or, you know, daylight, I think it keeps up pretty well. And that's pretty much it with this camera. I really like it, but now that the X100V is out, I'm gonna get that, and I think I'll be putting this up for sale. It's, you know, I've had a good 6 months with it. I haven't really used it a lot though, which I kind of regret. The EVF just kind of, you know, killed it for me. The EVF is really bad, especially for someone who likes to shoot up, you know, with the camera up to my face. It's just so small. I don't know why they would do that. Maybe because it's a cheap camera. But that EVF is a real deal breaker for me. But can definitely do fashion photos, high-end photos, whatever you need to do with APS-C sensors. Just shoot in RAW and just edit the way you edit. As long as you have good enough light, I don't think the sensor size really makes that big of a difference in enough light. So that's my 2 cents on the issue. I'm still gonna stick with my full frame cameras because it just makes my life a lot easier. But for everyday camera to have around with you, it's absolutely fine. If you know, just to kind of give yourself a little bit of a challenge, get more artsy-fartsy with it, it's perfect. So let me know what you think. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comments, whatever you want to talk about, we can chat in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day.